All right, howdy, folks. Welcome back. I told you I would be back. Quite the melee of hail going on in Argentina there. All right, let's get on over to our solar report. And while we're waiting for that to kind of load up there, I'd like to thank you all for spending a little moment of your time to come join us, this precious family here. Sorry, my mount's broke right before the show here. I'm going on a wing and a prayer right now, so. All right. Anyways, here we go. March 10th, 2024. And as you can see, we have the tail end of that big eruption at the very beginning when the loop starts over here. We have that right there, the tail end, and then all this other debris following it. You see all these other little objects that were trailing this big one with its moons and stuff. And I'm not really happy with it. There we go. It's a little bit better. All right, what's going on? All right, close enough. I'm just trying to get rid of these wavy lines here. All right, anyways, not much to really kind of, zoom in on there. We'll just kind of let that loop play there for a little bit and let your trained eye kind of see what's going on in there. See a small halo or a slight halo eruption in there as well. We gotta just try something a tad bit different here. Why is it not showing up very bright? All right, there we go. I'm trying to get a little bit brighter for you so you can see that event up there. This little guy right there, shoot, might as well go frame by frame through this stuff. So once it comes back around again, we'll catch the tail end of this loop. The very beginning of it. Okay, so opening frame 024, we're at the tail end of this event right here. You can still see all this plasma fully ignited. All right, it's still on fire as it comes out. You can see our little object right here draped with some plasma right there surrounded by it as it moves out. Okay, pretty obvious what's going on there. Now think of this as like a planetary, like a solar system with, each planet or moon I'm going to refer to as a satellite because it orbits a bigger object. Okay, so these are all little satellite moons and other objects that rotate around this other one further out, that come trailing along behind it because they're in a further orbit out from the main one. You can see this one down here right there quite clearly. There's another one making making the instrument react right there. Here's another little one right here, something going on up there. And you can just see there's all kinds of little objects that are following the big one, the main one that caused our event yesterday. Here's another one trailing behind. Here we go with another CME up here. Glitch. All right. Oh, go back to that one. Wait, was it the previous one right there? Nope, it was, I believe it's that one right there. Or it looks like it's this thing. I see something out here as well. Or it's this little core right here or something. That one's a little hard to see. But definitely something going on in there. And then this little guy pops out right here. You see him pretty clear, being right there. And this is our typical behavior. Every time this big one passes like that, we see all kinds of little planetoid satellite moons that accompany it. And especially with the flow, with the solar wind flowing, you can really see them a lot better. How they interact with the flow. All right, so there's your activity for the 10th today. All right, and then let's come on over to space or the solar ham here. And as you can see, last night in the middle of the night after the show, we had an M7.4. I posted that on the community page right as it was in progress. It did leave a nice red dot on the absorption map last night. So we did take on more energy. We did absorb more CME energy or X-rays, more flare energy got hit us last night. So we absorbed some more of that. I believe it came out of 3599 here, beta gamma delta still. Okay, our X flare potential went up to 5% real quick, in our M flare potential 25%. Okay, so there's a little uptick here that they're, you know, forecasting, even though it's dropped well below the sea floor. In fact, if you look up here, we're at 0.2 currently in B range, 4.2, way down here under the sea floor. All right, so it got active. We had that big thing yesterday or last night strike right here, right on the date line. Then some trailing little debris right here, boom, 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 all this stuff. And now it's gone quiet, and the sun's like relieved or taking a sigh of relief. And like, and calming way down underneath the seafloor, even down to B 4.2. All right, that's pretty low. Anyways, let's continue on. Their geomagnetic forecast for the next 3 days. They're expecting nothing, but there's always surprises now. You can see our KP index here. We did a little absorption right here, a little hit right here, and then tapered off. Another small hit right here to KP2. So we've had a couple little pulses event back here. So just KP3 and a KP2 right there is energy that hit the auroras up here and was absorbed, sent down to the core. Okay, it hits the magnetic field. The magnetic field directs it to this donut shape up at the top, and that's ignites the makes the auroras ignite up there, and then that energy also gets transferred down to the core. Okay, so that's why we look at these right now. Tonight they're pretty calm, pretty decent little green steady glow, but nothing too bad. All right. Back over here real quick. Here's our 3599 right here. Solar activity reached higher levels on Sunday thanks to an impulsive 7.4 solar flare produced by AR 3599. Updated imagery shows that no coronal mass ejection was produced, no CME. The active region remains magnetically complex and could produce additional M flares, all right? And could produce a potential X flare as well. But I think now that that big one has passed, we're all good for a minute. There'll be little trailing ones, but there's like 3 big ones. The third one always causes the biggest display or so, and that was the one that we had yesterday. Still same thing on that article. Let's open up the tracker real quick and see if they have anything new on there. All right, here we go. Dang it. Even though it's not hitting us straight on, it is clipping us. Yep, it's clipping us, and it's not all the way north or all the way south. It is clipping us north-south wise as well. So we're getting the very eastern, southern edge of it. Bing, yep. So we don't need any more CMEs hitting us. Let's see if they got that on this one yet, maybe. And if that is the one that came off today. It would be arriving on the 13th. Or around that time frame, and it doesn't look like they have any kind of spike here on the 13th. Yeah, there's no new data on this because what just came off the sun on the transition from the 9th to the 10th, right in this zone right here, would about 2 to 3 days, usually 3, typically or 3. It would be a big spike right around there. So they haven't updated this one yet, so I'm not going to waste our time there. No Earth-directed CME events, yet it shows one clipping us. Okay. That's still report from the 6th. Let's move on now to spaceweather.com. All right. Geomagnetic storm watch is canceled. All right, that was the one we talked about last night that I believe did impact. It just kind of came in a little early, and they didn't really think it was this hump that we had here. Back here, this KP4 right here, I believe is the one that this is the event. It wasn't scheduled. There was nothing scheduled for this time, and there shouldn't have been a KP4 this juncture, yet when it happened, it was maybe just a tad early, is what happened, I believe. Anyways, back to this. It's canceled. It's over. It already arrived. That's old news. Anyways, the sneaky dangerous sunspot 3599 doesn't look too dangerous. It is relatively small and has a simple bipolar morphology. Hey, that's what my doctor said. Bipolar morphology. 2 factors which usually add up to harmless. Oh, good, I'm harmless. Yet today, March 10th, it produced a strong M7. Ta-da, there it is. Ooh. No, you guys don't want to see that. Extreme ultraviolet radiation from the flare ionized the top of Earth's atmosphere, causing a strong shortwave radio blackout over Africa and the South Atlantic. Mariners and ham radio operators have noticed loss of signal. Okay. Anyways, now on to this. Here's this big. When this thing went by, it ripped a filament right off the sun. This isn't. They call it a filament release. This is more like getting ripped off the sun. All right. It was 500,000 kilometer wide blast, not 50,000. 500,000 kilometer wide blast. Debris from the explosion is emerging from the sun in the form of a CME. We already seen that. Okay, so that's old news from last night as well. Let's come on over to the Schumann. Okay, now you can see we've had this big grinding event. It actually grinded and then stopped. We had a little weakening here. It came back to grinding again. Stopped grinding. Came out of it. Another weak patch right here. See this dark patch right there? That's what I'm concerned about. It popped loose with a squeak right there, and then it's very, very weak. Okay, in this zone right here, you can see our 7.83 green line that goes across here. We want continuity. We want green continuity. And here it faded. Here it's still in there. It's pretty strong, even in between these two events. But afterwards, we had a little dimming right there, squeak, and then we're coming out of it pretty weak. So you've had really intense, normal, really intense, normal, super weak, with an intense blast right behind it, then super weak, and then more stripes. So this is just like a roller coaster ride. Boy, this is how I describe it. Imagine if somebody had your control of your emotions with like a light switch, and you got some kid at the top of the stairs flicking the light switch on and off and on and off and on and off and on and then off and then off and then on and off on off on off on off and just going nuts. So you never know what, it's just like a roller coaster ride of emotions, spiritual attack, pain, phew, you name it. And this, if you guys are feeling that, well, this is why. There's activity down at the core and the shell at the boundary there, our little dynamo in there that produces our magnetic field is doing all kinds of grinding and then halting and then back to normal and then grinding. And then it's just this roller coaster ride. Like I said, the kid with the light switch, flicking it on and off. All right, let's get on over to, you know what, I should close out some of these as we go. All right, let's get over to the null school here, and you can see our sideways smile here has changed. Okay, our bipolar morphology has changed to this side of the brain over here now. No, but look how sharp of an angle. It comes way up like this, bang, and then around. It looks more like an avocado or a triangle than it does a polar vortex. You know what I'm saying? This shape, how it just comes all the way up and whew, you see the avocado, what I'm talking about. Now this side, look how this side has really, just really broadened. You even see a little bubble down here that's driven it, you know, way down here. So our morphology is definitely bipolar, okay? And what I want to point out here now is where these two bands come together and they split the fire hose, the mouth of the fire hose, where this energy's coming out at. Well, it's splitting up, and a lot of it is getting dragged this way now. Very intense, tight, compact right here. A segment getting ripped away, but a lot of this is being pulled way over to this side now. See what I'm saying? After last night, you see how even stuff that's directed going down this direction actually gets hooked and pulled back into this other vortex. And you can see the big smiley face just kind of rotated. And now this big vortex is broadened. It's not as strong, but it's much bigger. Okay, it's getting bigger. Usually it just kind of maintains an oval like this, but look how it's way out here, way down here, way out here, instead of being right in this zone, you know. So we're seeing changes in our vortex. And when we go like this, you can see that that is pushing the wind the opposite way the weather wants to travel across the United States. All right, we have this southern fetch, that's the inflow for this main vortex right here. Okay, just like a tornado has an inflow, well, this vortex has an inflow, and I always kind of look to see where this inflow, what I call a fetch, is also, you know, where it's coming from. So we get this southerly fetch down here, getting pulled up into it as well. Okay, and then it dispenses down, comes, you know, halfway down the United States, and then takes an angle right at the California-Mexican border here. And our polar vortex is actually lower than the Mexican border now, down here, Baja California, the tip of the bay right there. All right, so now with that change in the vortex there, it affects the mid layer, the transition layer, like this. All right, and that opposite flow has caused this big ridge. Usually, this ridge, or not usually, but a while back, this ridge was more out here, right? More southerly towards the equator. Now this big bubble, this big dome has formed way up here. Now look at this. It is taking air up here and going across the pole. This huge dome has caused this effect. And we have this big, huge ridge that's shoved stuff up above it and down below it because of the polar vortex going the opposite way above this, okay? Your transition zone. Now, when we go to the upper jet stream, you'll see the correlation. Are you kidding me? How is that possible? Never mind. Why do I even say that question? How is that possible? I know exactly how it's possible. So look at how it just comes totally severe, dips down like that, and then gets mixed up and gets severe again. Nice little opening right over my house. Awesome. Thank you, Lord. But you see this split right here, this northern fetch, and then the southern fetch gets tugged way down here, gets moist air, warm air, and brings it across and up. Brings it across and then up the United States right there. So that's your upper jet stream. And it controls the lower jet stream, which is what the weather rides on. And you can see our main power is up here in this northern fetch right here, dipping down and hitting California. We got over here on the East Coast, this northern stuff coming down, really cold air, blending in with this moist air off the tropics right here. The hot cocktail is actually being blended offshore, which is good. It's better than being way back here. Okay, so what was way back here, and we were going to see some nasty, gnarly weather, has shifted just a tad bit and now's out here. That's why it's making the weather just so hard to predict anymore, because one little change up there at that polar vortex just changes everything up. All right. Meanwhile, here's your nor'easter that we're watching move through the East Coast today and tonight, still exiting up there. Meanwhile, we got two good strong storms out here off the West Coast. And do you see how this, it's like a cog, like a gear in a clock. These cogs, these wheels direct stuff, and this cog is pushing all these storms and keeping them up here. You see that? It's directing these storms and the energy in that direction. And we have two pretty good sized, powerful storms out there, because we got this low out here spinning around, or this high pressure out there spinning around, keeping these lows, up here, keeping them under control in this upper latitudes here. Now, let's go a little bit. All right, we're done with that. Let's come over to the particulates real quick while we're at the surface here. Sand. There we go. Okay, let's check out our sandstorms. Africa, it's still very diffused. It's not as white or intense. There are still little pockets of intensity, but there's not just this big white blob out there now. So this seems to be, it's still ongoing, but it's diminishing. Let's just use that term, diminishing. Over here, meanwhile, Saudi Arabia, you see this little storm is whipping up sand, and they're getting a little sandy over there. Meanwhile, we had this one up here in the Gobi Desert. It's still got a little small white patch, but the intensity of it has seemed to has dampened down for the moment here. So that's some good news, actually. Whoops. See how the wind picks it up, takes it around the world, dishes it over here to South America. You can see the Andes Mountains right here, just block it from going any further. Keeping most of it in this part of South America. See that? All right, so let's get on over to the chemicals. And we're going to pull up the SO2, a sulfur, a dioxide. The gas surrounds the magma down below. It gives us a good idea of the pressure and what it's like down below. Oh, hang on for a second. I got to read something in the chat. All right, back to business. So we come over here, check out the color, the darkening, lightening, It seems to have maybe lightened up a little bit. But look how it has still kind of, we were looking at this spread of pressure through this region last night. It's still kind of residual there. And even here in Korea, North and South Korea right here. Okay, so that area still has some pressure down below and it's pushing out a lot of gas. But as far as the darkening, it looks like it has lightened up a tad bit. At least in that region. Let's go down to Java. Yeah, I'd say it's lightened up in that region as well. We could probably pull our 7 down to like a 6 or maybe even 5. This one's still pretty dominant and dark. It always is dominant, but there's still some pressure going on here along South America. Africa. What was the other spot? Oh, here. Oh, yeah, America, that country. The country divided right down the middle. See that? When I do this, it almost looks like when I pull it out, I made that the plumes curl like that. Anyways, you can see this half is actually lightened up. There's a couple of dark patches here, but this region up here was nice and dark and has lightened up. And I would, all in all, it has lightened up. And I would put this, you see the difference between last night and tonight? I would drop from 7 to a 5 because that's what 5 looks like right there. Kind of light, very spotty, very diffused. When we come over here, remember how dark purple and everything was concentrated? See how it's a little more spotty and diffused here, not as dark. There's light patches and stuff broken up and stuff. That's what makes me kind of lower that threshold level, our own little chart that we made. So I would take the pressure down from like a 7 to a 5, really, because Russia or Europe's still bleeding out pretty good over here. Looking like a side of beef that got shot with a shotgun. All right, other than that, our pressure looking pretty good. What I want to do real quick, don't do this all the time. I'm just going to do it once here. Come back to particulates. We're going to come over to SO4, not SO2, but SO4. This is another sulfate compound, okay? And I call it sulfur quad oxide because it has 4 oxygen atoms per molecule, okay? 1 sulfur, 4 oxygen, sulfur quad oxide. It's a sulfate. Anyways, it's produced by man and the ground, but that's not why we're here. What we're here is for is, of course, check out the chart, white being more intense, black and light blue, green being less. Okay, there's your color chart. So you see the white. You see these intense spots of white around the world like that, okay? Especially down in here. All right, so this is all SO4. All right, keep that in mind as we look around the planet. And there was one spot on the planet where it hadn't reached, but now there are patches of SO4 down at Antarctica. The thing about SO4 is it likes to bond with water, which is H2O. And when you mix H2O, like say ice in Antarctica, when you mix H2O or water in the oceans, water in the air, okay, the air has a lot of water vapor in it. When you mix H2O with SO4, you get a compound called H2OSO4, also known as sulfuric acid. And what you're looking at is, not good. All this wants to bond with water to create sulfuric acid. It gets caught up in the storms, see, like this. And then when these storms dump huge amounts of rain on the West Coast in California, it's all so sulfuric acid rain basically with a very high pH. You probably can't be drinking your rainwater. Okay, and this is just a runaway train. It's all over the place, and it's not good. Sulfur quad oxide, SO4, all over the place. Okay, what was the other one we were talking about? Oh, yeah, I guess we can do this one too, Lord. We're going to come over to CO2 also. Okay, just do our little CO2 report. Also, before we click off of this chart, notice blue being more intense, darker brown being less intense. All right, we're going to do a crazy little biology thing. Now, CO2, carbon dioxide, which is the global warming killer, right? Yeah, that's what's killing all of us is a CO2. We're going to tax you for your CO2 emissions, right? CO2 is fucking plant food. I am sorry to use that term, but it's what plants need to live. And when you look at these dense jungles right here, notice there is a lack of CO2 in that area. You know why there's a lack of CO2 in that area? Because the plants are eating it all. Anyways, let's go over and see who produces a lot of CO2. Remember the blue color? Remember the blue color on the chart that was like off the chart? Look who produces all the CO2. Is that South and North Korea? Is that Japan? Look at all the CO2 coming out of these places. Friggin' clouds of them. Look at these huge plumes of CO2 coming out of this region. Meanwhile, let's go over to the United States. A little bit off the coast right here, but who's producing all the CO2? When are people going to take this shit to Congress and open up these dummies' eyes and tell them we don't produce the CO2? It's these guys over here. And it's not all that bad because the plants right next door eat it all. Did everybody like fall asleep in biology? Did everybody not do their homework? Well, what did you guys go to school? Do you remember what they taught you? Or do you just believe this nonsense? Look at the jungles over here, eating up all the CO2. Imagine that. Look at all the jungles over here, eating up all the CO2. Meanwhile, the ones that are producing it all, it ain't us. It's all these countries with no emission controls that we sent all of our manufacturing to. Show this stuff to Congress. Hey, Congress, you guys are a bunch of morons. You guys are a bunch of idiots. Don't believe this narrative that they're selling you. And if they try to sell you on it, point them to my channel and I will be more than happy to school them. See the map? See who produces CO2? See where it's coming from? Why don't you hold them accountable? Charge them the taxes. I want to see some of my money back from these guys. You better start charging them for CO2 emissions like right now. Meanwhile, we get a rebate. See my rebate? I want my rebate. You see why? Do you see why? And then I want every member of Congress to write a report, a biology report on how CO2, how a plant uses it to ingest it and produces what? Oxygen? Oh, we don't need that silly oxygen stuff. Oh, and don't put too many people on one island. It might capsize. We have to get these morons out of power. They're destroying this planet. They're destroying our societies. They're destroying your minds. They lie constantly, and then I'll stand up and clap like a bunch of retarded seals. Yeah, I agree with that lie. Meanwhile, they talk to you like you're a second grader. Oh, the Cookie Monster noticed. Forgive me. Sorry, Lord. Forgive me. I'm doing it again. You know, when he said Cookie Monster informed him of this problem, well, that tells me that the Cookie Monster could do a better job of running this country than the president can. It's exactly what he confessed. Oh, I'm dumber than the Cookie Monster. I didn't even. I was shocked when I learned that from Sesame Street. Unbelievable. The stupidity and what we put up with is off the hook. Anyways, I'm going on a tirade. Sorry. You can tell I'm still bent. I'm in mourning right now, so forgive me. Help me, Jesus. I'm doing it again. Okay, let's get over to our earthquake report here. Sorry. Our deep quake right here is a 4.5 down at 556. That's our normal activity that we like to see. I like to see deep 4.5s because they're not that big and they're relieving the energy down below, bringing it up to the surface, setting off magnitude 5s at the surface. As usual, textbook stuff right now. 5.2 at a depth of 10. 5.2, depth of 51. 5.1, depth of 135. Congress, can you guys keep up with this? Do you guys, oh my God, I'm going to play something for you guys. I'm sure you already know the NFL versus the NBA. 4.8 here at the Azoo Islands. 4.3 up here at Conchocna. Finally, some activity here. We've had a lot of volcano activity, so that's what kind of replaces the quake activity. So actually, this is a rare quake for a region that usually has quakes. We're having a rare quake. Go figure. Nothing here at the fulcrum point. Look how quiet that is. That is eerily quiet. Something else is going on. There's a suppression event going on or something. Meanwhile, we have another diverse quake way up here, 3.0. Coming down, we did have a little strike here at our fulcrum point. 2.9, not too bad. Let's go also all magnitudes. And you know what? If these guys can't run this country, vote for me. I'll make sure you guys get your money back. It'll come right out of their bank accounts, too. How do you like that? We'll start cutting checks to legally born American citizens. Nice little flurry going on here today. Definitely energy being released here, a little quake swarm. That's perfect. I like to see that. Biggest of them was a 1.5. That is nothing. That's a perfect little quake swarm releasing energy. Awesome. Inland here a little bit, 1.5. Nothing too bad. Fulcrum quake of 1.7, and we had this 2.9 out there. A little activity over here in Idaho. That's okay too. We'll take that. That means there's still pressure. Even up here, what's going on up here? Ooh. This is not California. This is up in Oregon. I don't know why it says 48 kilometers east of Fort California. Well, how about it's up in Oregon, dude? Maybe not. Yeah, it's up in Oregon. All right, we have this little flurry up here. It's interesting. I haven't seen this site before. 2.4, 2.5. What's this one back there? 3.5. Okay, so 47 kilometers northeast or east northeast of Fort Bidwell, California, we have a little flurry going on out here in the desert. A little pressure under that region right there. Spottiness around California, but they're all little tiny little microquakes. Getting on down here to the Cocos Plate. Here's some of that 5 energy at the surface that, from our deep quake, made it over here, cracked off of 5. Here's some energy right here, fulcrum point, 4.6, 4.5, and right on the boundary, 4.8. Down here, I didn't see this, but our 4.5, deep 4.5 with 5 at the surface. Look at this right down here, 5 at the surface again. This is textbook stuff right here. There seems to be some kind of suppression event going on too. We're like in a magnetic grip or something that's suppressing these quakes, because this is a lot less than we're used to seeing. Meanwhile, over here, real quick, at the Black Sea here in Turkey, we had a 4.1 and a 4.8. Yeah, these traders right here in Turkey are about to get rocked again. I'd watch out. Remember that place right here? Killed thousands of people. Yeah, this treasonous country right here, these backstabbers are going to be paying. A lot of these treasonous countries, these backstabbers are going to be paying, and you're seeing it play out in the weather and in the earthquakes and in the pressure down below. All right, here we go. Diving into our volcano report. We're at March 11th here. Already into March 11th. Hey, everybody stop for a second real quick. Back here at the earthquakes, March 11th, we had a very big quake right here off the coast of Japan on March 11th. This will be the anniversary of the big Japan quake. All right, back to this. It just reminded me of that. Uh-oh. Hopefully that's not an indication. Sakurajima, 8,000 feet. Popocatépetl, 23,000. All right. Usually Popo's 20, 21. Here it is up at 23. Santa Guido. I would really like to know the height on that one. Fuego, 18,000. Oh, wait a second. That was 15,000 yesterday. 15 and 16. Now it's up at 18. Reventador, 14. Sabancaya, so high it was unable to detect. The bipolar morphology of our society. We've been lied to. Our whole history is just one big lie. And we've been sucked into a whole society that's just delusional. Entitled and delusional. It's sickening. All right, here we go again. Sakurajima, 8,000 feet. Ibu, here we go. Ibu had 1 to 7,000 feet. Semeru, very important volcano here on East Java. Read more. I would like to know the height. With the big old ad in the middle. Nope, no height on that one. Anyways, Dukono, 8,000 feet. Popocatépetl, 23,000 feet again. Santa Guido, here we go, 13,000 feet. Fuego, 15. So earlier today I had 15, and then it was 18 was the last one, I think. Nevada del Ruiz, 19. Sangay at 20,000 feet. Reventador, 14,000 feet. Each time I read these numbers, they have been so desensitized. 20,000 feet. Yeah. 14,000 feet. Yawn, hurry up. This is so much ash going up into our upper atmosphere, up to 20,000 feet, 3,000 feet every day now. Not just one volcano, multiple volcanoes sending these plumes way up there. It's a runaway train. I told you about the vision of the runaway train. This is a runaway train. This is why I have these nightmares of runaway trains, because the more ash that gets up there, the more water content the air can hold, the more volume of water will fall from the sky. Okay, the air has the potential to hold a lot more water. Just think of a bigger sponge. It could A small sponge can only hold a cup of water. Well, now imagine one that you wash your car with that can hold a gallon of water. All right. Meanwhile, we got to get back to this. Currently erupting. I want you guys to take this seriously. I'm showing you these blasts and these altitudes. Same shit's happening here at Bismani, Ducono, Ebico, Erebus, Urda Ale, we have this one here, Fernandina, has lava arms flowing down its flanks. It doesn't produce a bunch of big ash cloud, but it does have these lava flanks. All right, these arms running down its flanks, all because of pressure down below pushing this stuff up through the perforations in the crust. Fuego, always erupting. Ibu, always erupting. Krakatoa, always erupting. This is the one that darkened the planet. It was Krakatoa, and the whole mountain went up into the sky and darkened the planet for years. Its remnants are still going off right now. Absorb that. Luatolo, blowing up every day. Merapi, blowing up every day. Messiah, every day. Merapi. Currently. All of these are always erupting in current eruption as we speak. Popo, Reventador, Sabancaya, Sakurajima, Sangay, Santo Guido, Semaru, Chivaluge, Stromboli over here in Italy. Wait until you see a Stromboli explosion. It's going to scare these people out of that region. Suinosi, Jima, Villarica, Yasur, and then all of this stuff over here on this yellow list. We're just going to go backwards up it. Ulawan, Ubinus, Recon de Vieja, these are active. They're not having a big explosion, but they are active. They have lava sitting in the dome. They're emitting gas. They're right on the verge, like Recahanus is right on the verge. All it takes is one good blast from the sun. That that energy gets absorbed, goes down to the core, and that pressure gets built up from down below, and we're gonna see the results. Right now, our pressure seems to be lowering, so maybe Recahanus will hold off on its eruption. It was due to erupt. It was looking prime it was getting so close. But then the pressure got relieved by all these other volcanoes, 22,000 feet, 24,000 feet, relieves pressure underneath. And then this one kind of reduces in size and takes a breath. Rayong, Nevada del Ruiz. See how it's on this list? We just read a report that said 22,000 feet. It goes on this list. It's on this list. Mayone, Manam, here in Kilauea, it hasn't erupted, but we've had all those little earthquake swarms and stuff. Wait until you see, when we get a good round of pressure, that one will go off probably too. We got all kinds of them up here in the Aleutian Islands. This one, the Great Sitkin one, it's burp gases. We have the new one, Gamma Lama, that just out of nowhere, a name we never heard of, exploded, went active, was on this list for a while. Now it's calmed down, but it's still semi-active. Watch out. When that thing goes off, it's going to... Cotopaxi, Ecuador, Bongana. Whoa. Tamumasi, you guys, is the largest volcano on the earth. I believe it's right there. It's right here in this region. It's an underwater seamount. It happens to be the largest volcano on the face of the planet. It's under the ocean, and it's active. It's coming to life. When that thing blows, the whole planet is gone. All right. And that's what concerns me now is this big volcano, Tamumasi, underneath the ocean. I doubt they'll ever report on it because the capacity that this thing has would, well, scare everybody out of their minds. And rightfully so. Yeah. I'm going to have to, I got a report I can find on this volcano. We're got to get deeper into this and bring it to light now because everybody's trying to hide the activity that's going on in this region right here. And we're talking the biggest volcano on the face of the planet. All right. It's not the largest in the solar system. Olympus Mons on Mars is the biggest in the solar system, but this one's second. It's like huge. I mean, the circumference of it is like this on the ocean floor, and here's its peak. We'll get into that too. That'll probably get me kicked off, but I don't give a shit. You guys only got a few minutes left to go anyway, so pardon my French tonight. I'm a little salty tonight, I guess. All right, so there's your volcano report. Now, volcanoes seem to be the way that it's been releasing a lot of energy, so hopefully we don't have new ones crack open in unexpected places that just catch people off guard. Most of these are known ones, and we can watch them erupt and run from them. I'm worried about something coming up in a spot where nobody even expected, a fissure just rip right open, the surface tear open like a piece of paper being torn, and ejecta coming out at high velocity, probably shooting up to the upper atmosphere. I mean, lava, like a curtain of lava shooting that high. So we got to be on alert. All these volcanoes, we need every single one of these to be relieving pressure as much as they can, without full-on total devastation. A very fine balance, an impossible balance, really. But the can't see the screen. I'm out of focus. There we go. You know what? I'm seeing double. My vision has been blurry ever since yesterday's. Let's just say I'm so livid. My eyes vision is blurry. Imagine being that mad that your vision goes blurry. Oh, all right. Let's get on to our forecast. It's still bad? Oh, no. You guys are talking to each other. My bad. All right. The only thing I need protection from is you, McAfee. And you're dead. So how is your company still going? All right. Let's get this going here. Let the loop play while I say a prayer and try to regain composure here. Okay. You can see a few little changes there. Actually, for the better, it looks like, because some of that before was, whoa, that thing looked weird. All right. That was clear at the end, though. And that's a computer model. So here we are ditching this nor'easter, finally leaving the coast there. Hurricane, or 977 millibar, which is a category 2. Yep, 977 is a category 2 hurricane, the strength of a category 2. You see these winds on the backside, high winds through this area with snow, so blizzard conditions, as well as power outages. It's going to be knocking power out right there. So back up a frame right there is our current conditions going into the morning of the 11th. A little bit of snow, a little bit of something coming in here. Then we go to the noon time. You see this front coming on shore. Convection of the 11th. Here we are at the nighttime of the 11th, going into the morning of the 12th. Noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 13th, noon, convection, nighttime. Morning of the 14th, noon, convection. Oh, I escaped it. Nighttime. So, almost escaped it. Right here, this upper part, escaped colliding with this cold air here and got out of there. But still, this little southern tail part collides with this cold air at nighttime on the 14th. You see it already firing up before they've even kissed. They haven't even made contact yet. And they don't. This just fires up independently of that. What? No, they gotta hit somewhere. I guess not. There's the nighttime of the 14th going into the morning of the 12th. Now, when we have time severe weather like this is what catches people off guard. They're still asleep. 3 in the morning, you're having an F5 tornado in your backyard. There's the noontime of the 15th. There's the convection. Now, when you have severe, oh, no, go away. When you have severe weather already at noontime, and then all that energy is already up in the atmosphere at really high elevations, creating creating hail, down gusts, tornadoes, and stuff. Already by the morning hours, you got a recipe for destruction, because then the sun comes up and causes that to continue to boil and convect. All right, there's your noontime convection right there. Serious by noontime, and then it splits. I don't know if this is going to truly happen like this. If we get a split like this, it could be extremely dangerous for this southern fetch here. If we get a split like this, it could be, well, could be extremely dangerous for this one. Really sketchy what happens here. Hopefully it stays in one kind of central blob like this. Because when it fans out like that, you get pop-ups out in front like that are very hard to, they're very dangerous. They're very unpredictable. They spur up really quick. All right, those are the ones we've got to watch out for. And this front has turned into a bunch of pop-ups, is what it really turned into, is just a big pop-up, a smaller pop-up, and other pop-ups in between. So that right there at the end of convection on the 15th has the potential to be very deadly. I pray I'm wrong. I pray everything changes. It's very volatile. It can change in a heartbeat. But that is forecasted for the nighttime of the 15th there into the morning of the 16th. Noon, convection, nighttime. Nighttime of the 16th, we got, again, convection at nighttime. Nocturnal convection, morning convection. Again, right here, March 17th. Watch out in this region. Might not be that exact patch right there, but we have the potential for severe weather in the morning hours, even through the noon. Even into convection. Oh, it just all scattered into pop-ups right there. Look at this. This is storm chasers are looking at this and licking their chops. Meanwhile, I'm praying for the people in this area. I pray that that doesn't happen. I would love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong. I would love for this to be wrong. Going into the nighttime, it dissipates, but look how this thing picks up strength at 993 right there, 990. Okay. Otherwise, it moves out by the morning of the 18th. We get to the noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 19th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of the 20th, noon. Finally, we have morning time convection down here in the Gulf, which is to be expected. There's a lot of warm water down there. Cold air has dropped down into this region and is allowing convection to happen down here and boil in the morning hours. Then by noontime, it has severe weather has moved across the panhandle here, or not panhandle, but across the middle of Florida right there. And then is already offshore by convection, by the end of convection. So hopefully it pans out that way. It makes just a quick little pass over it like that. And by the time the most severe part of the day happens, it's already offshore. Going into the nighttime of the 20th, morning of the 21st, noon, convection. Now again, moist air coming up, colliding with cold air. See the icing in the middle. There's your nighttime of the 21st, the morning of the 22nd, noon, convection. Yeah, watch out there a little bit. The nighttime. Wow. All right, starting right here at about, noon of the 22nd, it gets really intense with this ice band in between here by convection. And then at night, you see how intense that band really gets. And that's a lot of ice. Calling for Well, 4 to 6 inches of ice? No. Wow. Well, anyways, hopefully that doesn't pan out that way. We're a little further down the line here. This is less predictable, but again, a very important storm to watch out for in that time frame if you plan on traveling to that region or you got people in that region. Again, in the morning hours when it's coldest, that ice storm is very, very intense right there. You people up in Canada, okay, as well. I'm not just reporting for America here. This thing reaches up into, there's a lot of people up here, or Canucks up here too. So, right there, the morning of the 23rd, that could be a dangerous time frame right there. Going into the noontime, convection. Ooh, these pop-ups along this linear band right here could get dangerous. That's the convection of the 23rd, nighttime. Now you see how these bands are starting to tighten up and rotate. You see this rotating off here and all this is conglomerating and coming together. That's a 987 low. That's 982. We're almost to category 2. 979. That's category 2 strength right there. And when I say that, I'm talking about winds. Okay, category 2 winds. If there were water wrapping around, well, there isn't in this case, but say if this thing was twisting like that, you would have an onshore flow of wind, category 2 type winds, not in this case, but that's why I do this, because if you had water coming onshore, it would be a storm surge. Okay, it would be similar to a wintertime hurricane. All right, severe weather pockets in that right there by the noontime of the 24th. Nighttime, it kind of moves on out of there. Actually, that was convection the 24th right there. Then the nighttime, morning of the 25th, noon, convection, nighttime, morning of 26th, noon, convection, nighttime. And that was it. Let that play for a second while I gather myself. Oh, the shredded heart. The shredded heart. How do I even begin to talk about the shredded heart? Well, first of all, we'll start by getting rid of some of these. This. Let me go to that one real quick. We're going to go over this one again. It's our latest event. And what's cool about it is it's actually, that's my face. That's me when I'm reading to you guys with the book light shining on part of my face here. And just to show you the video that doesn't do it justice till you see this video. And of course, you can't back up on a play line without an ad now that jams up. Oh, jam up ad. Thank you, you pirate. All right. All right, Mr. BB's channel here. Just going to play this real quick.
They went inside, got people to come outside. So they were walking outside, half tired, looking up. Murray Calloway out of Kentucky. And then something about
okay, let me get my mic.
Antonio Othelio. These are the people that right here that saw this.
It's up there again. There's the face.
And he says right there.
It's not an app.
Here, let me listen to what he says.
It's a face. Everybody's out here.
It's a 145.
Everybody's out here looking. We're coming out here to see. But I gotta get this. Y'all see that?
That's crazy.
That's crazy. Now, hold up. Let me zoom so everybody can see it.
Wait a second. It was 1:45 in Kentucky? That's about what time I'm doing my reading here on the West Coast. I didn't put the timestamp onto it just till now when I was watching this. Anyways, let's continue real quick.
Nice. Zoom on it. Hey, y'all need to call somebody.
Yeah, call Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Who are you gonna call?
Tell them we're out here, what we're looking at. Now, y'all see this. You see it, right?
Yes.
I'm just saying, there it is. That's a nice,
Woke him up.
crispy face. Hey, somebody got another phone? I don't want to be the only one recording this.
Okay. Real event, real face, sitting next to the moon. The moon, huh? Anybody ever pay attention to my avatar on my channel? It has multiple messages in one avatar. It's actually three-dimensional too. Okay, so we're going to get into it right about here. Okay. First of all, everybody, let's just take a deep breath. I need to. You probably need to too, so. Okay, everybody relax. Spend time with me for the pure pleasure of being in my company. I can brighten up the dullest of gray days. Like I said, spend time with me for the pure pleasure of being in my company. I can brighten up the dullest of gray days. I could add sparkle to the routines of daily life. You have to repeat so many tasks day after day that this monotony can dull your thinking until your mind slips into neutral. A mind that is unfocused is vulnerable to the world, the flesh, and the devil, all of which exert a downward pull on your thoughts. As your thinking processes deteriorate, you become increasingly confused and directionless. The best remedy is to refocus your mind and heart on me, your constant companion. Even the most confusing day opens up before you as you go step by step with me. My presence goes with you wherever you go, providing light for your path. So grow strong in the light of my presence. As my face shines upon you, you receive nutrients that enhance your growth in grace. Again, grow strong in the light of my presence. As my face shines upon you, you receive nutrients that enhance your growth in grace. I designed you to commune with me face to face, and this interaction strengthens your soul. Such communion provides a tiny glimpse of what awaits you in heaven, where all barriers between you and my glory will be removed. This meditative time with me blesses you doubly. You experience my presence here and now, and you are refreshed by the hope of heaven, where you will know me with enthusiastic joy. Demonstrate your trust in me by sitting quietly in my presence. Put aside all that is waiting to be done and refuse to worry about anything. This sacred time together strengthens you and prepares you to face whatever each day will bring. By waiting with me, before you begin each day, you proclaim the reality of my living presence. Again, by waiting with me, you proclaim the reality of my living presence. This act of faith, waiting before working, is noted in the spiritual world, where your demonstrations of trust weakens principalities and the powers of darkness. Your demonstration of trust weakens principalities of powers and darkness. Do you understand what I'm saying? When we were talking earlier about these, who can you trust, right? Can't trust these guys. Well, when you trust me, that weakens those guys, right? You trust in me, that weakens them. And why is my camera blurry now? Hello? There we go. This is how we're going to beat them. This is how we beat the principalities of powers of darkness, is by your demonstrations of trust in me. The most effective way to resist evil is to draw near me. When you need to take action, I will guide you clearly through my spirit and my word. The world is so complex and overstimulating that you can easily lose your sense of direction. Doing countless unnecessary activities will dissipate your energy. When you spend time with me, I restore your sense of direction. As you look to me for guidance, I enable you to do less but accomplish more. You're doing less and accomplishing more. There is no place so desolate that you cannot find me there. No set of circumstances could ever isolate you from my presence. So not only do I see you always, I see you as a redeemed saint, gloriously radiant in my righteousness. That is why I take great delight in you and rejoice over you with singing. Okay, here again. I delight in those who fear me, who put their hope in unfailing love. Fear of the Lord is often misunderstood, but it is the foundation of spiritual wisdom and knowledge. Now, fear of the Lord isn't the word fear, it's the whole term. Fear of the Lord is actually a term for respect. They didn't have the term respect back then. They had the concept, but they didn't have the term respect. So they called it fear of the Lord. So fear of the Lord is respect. Okay? So fear of the Lord is often misunderstood, but it is the foundation of spiritual wisdom and knowledge. Did you hear what I said? Respect is the foundation of spiritual wisdom and knowledge. Respect. Fear of the Lord is the foundation of spiritual wisdom and knowledge. Respect. It consists of reverential awe, adoration, and submission to my will. You submit to me by exchanging your attitudes for goals of mine. Since I am your creator, aligning yourself with me is the best way to live. When your lifestyle exhibits this biblical fear, I take delight in you. When you show respect, I take delight in you. Seek to feel my pleasure shining on you at such times. Living in according to my will is not easy. There will be many ups and downs as you journey with me, but no matter what is happening, you can find hope in my unfailing love. In your world today, many people are feeling desperate. They've become disillusioned and cynical because they put their confidence in the wrong thing. But my steadfast love will never let you down. It will never let you go. So cling to hope. It's a golden cord that's connecting you to me. To infuse more joy into each day, seek to increase your awareness that I am with you. Okay? Your awareness that I am with you. I'm here now. I'm here. I'm with you. I can relate. I love you. I've been through it all. I'm here to, to help counsel you. The real deal. That should soothe you. Okay? So cling to hope. It's this golden cord that connecting you to me. So, where was I? An easy day today. Okay. To infuse more joy into each day, seek to increase your awareness that I am with you. An easy way to do this is to say, thank you, Jesus, for your presence. This is such a short, simple prayer that you can pray frequently. It beautifully connects you to me, expressing your gratitude. You don't have to feel my nearness in order to pray this way. However, the more you thank me for my presence, come back here, presence. All right. The more you thank me for my presence, the more real I become to you. You end up aligning yourself, mind, heart, and spirit with the reality that in me you live and move and have your being and live more freely and fully, don't you? Seeing this changes your whole perspective. And now you guys live freely. You live more full, more vibrantly, don't you? Than you did before you saw this. You may have had ideas and believed in this and that, but now you have something real. You also increase your awareness by looking for signs of my unseen presence around you, such as the beauties of nature and the pleasures of loved ones are reminders pointing you to me. You can also find me in my word, for I am the living word. Ask my spirit to illuminate scripture to you, shining its light into your heart, helping you see my presence. It's describing my character, so you will see my presence. When you believe, my presence is here right now with you, talking to you right here, right now. The moment you believe, something magical happens. Yeah, a miracle actually happens. A real one, doesn't it? Just one. Okay. What was the other? Well, we're just sticking with this image tonight. I'm not going to dance around. When you are feeling downcast, the best remedy is to remember me. Think about who I am, your Lord and your God, your Savior and your Shepherd, and your friend who will never leave your side. I am fully aware of your every circumstance as well as all your thoughts and feelings. Everything about you is important to me because you are precious to me. Remember the many ways I have taken care of you and helped you. Thank me for each one that comes to mind and relax in my loving presence. Tell me about the things that are weighing you down. Though I know all about them, your voicing them to me provides relief from the heavy load that you've been carrying. Okay? Even though I know all about them, it's your voicing them that provides relief. Okay? In the light of my presence, you can see things more clearly. Together, you and I can sort out what is important and what is not. Moreover, as you linger with me, my face shines upon you, blessings, encouraging, and comforting you. I assure you that you will again praise me for the help of my presence. I am gracious and compassionate, slow to anger, and rich in love. Explore the wonders of grace with me. Unmerited favor lavished on you through my finished work on the cross. By grace you have been saved through faith, and that not of yourself, it is a gift from God. What's more, my compassions never fail. One more time. My compassions never fail. They are new every morning. So begin your each day expectantly, ready to receive fresh compassions. Don't let yesterday's failures weigh you down. Learn from your mistakes and confess your known sins, but don't let those become your focus. Instead, keep your eyes on me. I am slow to anger, so don't be quick to judge yourself or others. Rather, rejoice that I am rich in love. In fact, love is at the very core of who I am. Your growth in grace involves learning to be more attentive to me, more receptive to my loving presence. This requires vigilant effort because the evil one despises your closeness to me. Strive to stay alert and remember, there is no condemnation for those who belong to me. Okay, whew. That was the spiritual report for the moment, and I forgot all about our little goodies here. Because this is not a comet. And I forgot to pause that. Is it going? Yeah, here we go. Now, what this is some footage I had saved from a long time ago, and the link actually got erased. And I searched all over for this footage again, and never to be found again. And lo and behold, good old That's Impossible channel over here, he played it tonight, and I want to show you this because this is important a little bit. And let me get sound and everything going here. And where's the very beginning of this video? Let's go back a little bit. All right, let's just play this real quick. And whoops, got to have the speed set right. I mess with the speed a lot on stuff for slow-mos and sound.
I'm sorry.
If we can get that other, there we go. All right, here we go. This is up I'm on like a hotel looking down on a little bay here, and there was a duck swimming across the water. These ladies are commenting on this duck or what they thought was a duck swimming across the water. You'll see some wake here in a second, but you'll see something else here in a second too.
Hey.
Just, oh, right.
Wait.
Second, guys. Okay, sorry. Let's go.
Here we go.
Wait, you're saying it's wait. It's a duck.
What's going on?
It's a duck. I'm sorry.
Oh, that is exactly how it happens. So here it comes.
Ah!
Oh my gosh, what was that?
So here it comes.
Ah!
That is exactly how it happens. So here it comes.
Ah!
Oh my gosh, what was that? Oh my god. What was
Ah! That is not a comet. That is the Loch Ness Monster. A plesiosaur. I need to take the brightness down or something here. What's going on with my camera? Why is this not picking it up very well? Anyways, let's just play this a couple times.
Oh my gosh.
And when slowed down, that eye actually shifts and looks at the cameraman. It dilates. The actual eyeball dilates because there's a change in lighting.
Oh my
And what you're looking at is a
What was that? Oh my
present
gosh.
day
I
dinosaur.
was not expecting that.
Okay, the Loch Ness monster,
Oh my
the
gosh.
plesiosaur, is real.
Oh my god.
And what I want to point out is right here, this little white thing is a dead lobster or a dead crab floating on the surface, okay? It's on the surface of the water. This thing cruised in the bay, circled around. It's echolocating. These creatures use echolocation, and is echolocating, and it detected this object on the surface, and it came up to check it out. There's another small object over here right in front of it, and as it turns, it checks out this one. The light that's shining down from this apartment into the water right here illuminates this creature under the surface. You can see its long whiskers here that drape out. That means it's like a bottom dweller. It uses those as feelers to feel around for food.
Oh my gosh. What was that?
One more time here. No, homeboy's reaction.
What was that? Oh my gosh. What was
This thing startled this man. He thought it was going to come out of the water and eat him. That's why he flinched and ran. He saw this eye. This eye looked back at him. The original video that I had, I was able to zoom in on it so close, and I watched this eye actually, the eyeball dilated. It opened up when it shifted position. Right now, the light is shining through the water and hitting its eyeball. Its eyeball is contracted. The pupil is contracted. But when it looks away from the light, the eye reflects or reacts exactly as it should, and the dilation, the aperture opens up and the eye dilates because it needs more light. This is a living creature, okay? Not too hard to figure out. It's really hard footage to find, and I saved it, and when it was taken down, I knew why. Because it's very disturbing what you're looking at. That's the real deal.
Oh my god.
All these reports of the Loch Ness monster, all these reports of UFOs and stuff, they're all true. People see this stuff. It's real. Just because you haven't seen it yet doesn't mean it's not real. But sometimes it gets captured. All right, you see the neck, and you can see the fin coming out here, just kind of
Gosh. What
as
was
he
that?
pans away. But see, he reacted edge.
Oh my gosh. What was that?
And I'll put this link in the description. Now, what's going on here? These creatures, you see these little feelers? It likes to hang out down at the bottom. It's a bottom dweller. It likes to feed on bottom dwellers, let's just say, okay? So it's a deep sea creature. All that heat and the volcanic activity down below is forcing these creatures up to the upper water levels now. And now they are cruising the bays and interacting with the shoreline and being
Gosh, what was
captured.
that? Oh my
Okay? Real life dinosaur still alive today. We're going to go to another one too. Where's this other one? Let's see here. Give me just a second while I look this one up. It was nope, it's on the other list. Come on, Lord, give me the other list. Sorry, you guys have to look at my hand for a second, but I have some other stuff that you guys are not. Where'd it go? Give me one more second here. We're gonna find a dinosaur again. Where'd old dinosaur go again? Oh, where'd it go? I should have had this pulled up before. I tried to pull it up before, but I had so many things on the computer that it wouldn't let me. Where'd it go? It wouldn't let me pull up everything I wanted to, so I didn't get to pull it up. And it should be. Dang it. I'm trying to show you a different dinosaur, and now I can't find it. So we're just going to have to come back to this, type it in. I had the link saved. Let me just go to, oops, Mesosaurus, I think. Mesosaurus caught on camera. There we go. This video right here. Wait.
So, Pup, why photograph this airport lounge?
Well, look around.
This is why I wanted to have it pulled up.
It says the cameras aboard a deep sea, and let me emphasize that, deep sea survey prospect.
Oh boy, I didn't click on the right one. I want the 2-minute one. Here it is. There's the 40 seconds. That's echolocation. Even those grunts. Mesosaurus, right there, living dinosaur, still alive. They stay alive way down under the depths of the ocean when the world doesn't change much down there. These creatures, unless there's a predator bigger that kills it, it continues to grow and live unless something bigger than this or more voracious eat it. You see the fish that are tagging along with it? Those are pilot fish. They usually accompany a big predator. Looking at Leviathan coming up from the depths. Pressure down below and the heat from down below is stirring these creatures up, and they're coming up to the surface now. So when stuff like this starts happening, whoops, what's that though? With like this, it won't surprise you. And a lot of people that have been missing at sea, explains a lot.
Oh my gosh, what was that? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, real life creatures. So you thought the spiritual realm stuff was weird and creepy. We got this going on as well. All right. And I've been waiting for this footage back here. This other one, this Loch Ness, the plesiosaur video. Once that link came down, I was like, oh, that indicates they're trying to cover it up. And once I was able to see this video, he just played this again tonight. And I was like, oh, yeah, I've been waiting for this video to pop back up again because I studied this one for hours, dissecting it. And this is a real creature actually moving under the water. And it comes to check on that thing on the surface.
Oh my gosh, what was that?
And it scared this guy. That is a natural reaction. When you see a dinosaur, you scream. Okay, so don't be surprised when you start seeing creatures that you mystical creatures that you've heard of actually being true. Okay. And even though in this shot it looks green with a little core and a tail coming off of it, this is not a comet. This is a dinosaur. It's a freaking dinosaur.
Oh my gosh, what was that?
This is not a comet.
Oh my gosh, what was that?
It's a dinosaur.
Oh.
All right. So, mystical creatures, real. Spiritual realm, real. Me, I'm real. I'm here. Hi. Nice to meet you. I miss you. I love you. Thanks for coming tonight. I hope you enjoyed the show. Hope it brings peace and comfort and soothing to your soul during these times when we have literally everything in the world against Christians. You got the media, politics, the police, you got the military, you got every country on the face of the planet. Everything, every adversary is against Christians. So that makes you spiritual warriors when you take on this fight. You guys have more courage than most people I ever see. Anyways, real things going on. It's real, really happening because I'm really here talking to you right now. And I sure love you guys. I miss you guys. I want to see all of you make it back to heaven. Not just some of you. I want to see everyone make it back. All right? That's it for tonight. I miss you all. I love you all. God bless you all. And until my next show, I will be back. I am already back. And the world is finding out. Bye. Or maybe not. Maybe it won't let me shut off. Oh, darn it for you guys. I guess you're stuck with me, huh? It won't let me stop streaming. Interesting. Ooh, that was a little loud. But that's echolocating. You can hear this creature echo. So I wouldn't go surfing. I'd be real careful out in the water these days. The same tail, too. Out of Jurassic Park right there. See this scene right here? They actually kind of use this scene, this clip right here in the movie. All right, good night all.